Hi and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 21st of June, everybody. So today's section, I've just realised I've got a hair caught in the washi tape up there. Today's section is section 15. So we have some, or a little bit more, of the block of colour today, which will be kind of nice. So let's get the white. I'm still going to start off with my white and get that all filled in because I enjoy the filling it in afterwards, that's for sure. I like filling in all the little gaps. Let me just grab my trashy, because there is just a little ones with air bubbles and things like that that I like to get rid of as I'm going along. But I hope everybody is well. Let's zoom in, see if I need to shuffle my painting a little bit. I think I need to move up a little bit. So let me just curl that up. There we go. Let's try there. So comments, topics of conversation, etc. Let's get to the oldest comments. There we go. So Ruby, she says, another tip for the multi-placers is you can put glue dots in them, she said, just like you would with a single one. She said she has for her 4-placer and it works really well. She said she hopes this helps. Yeah, I've popped glue dots in my multi-placer before. The way I tend to do it is I do tend to take the glue dot off like the sheet that it comes on, and I sort of roll it into a bit more of a sausage, and then I pop them into the multi-placer. And you may end up needing, of course, more than one, but you can do it that way. We have now got the glue strips in stock in the shop as well. Some people say they work wonders for multi-placers because the glue already comes in a strip. So you can cut off as much as you need and do it that way. So if you're a glue dot fan, that might work for you. Delia, she says, hello Rebecca, she says, thank you for the waffles. She said it gives her an hour to sit down and relax / de-stress. She said she's also been diamond painting for 5 years. She says the painting that she's working on is Fourth Wall Break from Diamond Art Club, and she is looking forward to the Christmas Advent release. She says she hopes that we have a great day. Thank you. I am having a good day today. It's raining, which is, you know, needed, I would say. It's not the nicest to go out in, but rain is needed. We had at least 3 weeks, I think, without rain, which for the most of us is perfectly fine, and we don't have any grumbles, but it did make me think of the likes of the poor farmers that actually need rain to be able to work properly. So I think they've had a nice fill recently of rain, because it's been absolutely throwing it down in our area today. So that should keep things hydrated for a bit. It has cooled down a little bit. It's still stuffy, but it's definitely cooled down. So yeah, KS says on the symbols, she says for the down arrow, she calls it down dog. She says after the yoga pose. Love it. She said it gives her a chuckle. She said the dot with the line, with a line attached to the right, she said, is a pregnant line. And the solid upper right triangle she calls a window. She says for some reason it reminds her of a garage door window. Love it. Love these names. I've definitely adopted a couple since the discussions have happened. They're just sort of sticking in my head, which is awesome. Sarah, she says she wishes, she said, that I could have seen her face when I announced the Advent calendar today. She says she has all her fingers and toes crossed for that one. She said she would also be thrilled to be able to work on that one next December, Waffle. She says thank you so much. I tell you, in this house, when we discuss the Advent, because it's the December Advent, so there's an Advent calendar, but then there's also a painting. Oh, it can get so confusing in the conversations between which one is which. It can definitely spark some fun conversations, that's for sure. I've actually two of the kids, while I'm filming this Whip and Waffle, are actually working on packing up some of the final things needed for Advent, because this summer holidays is the time we will start packing everything into boxes, but they're doing some of the last prep on a few of the items to go in them, which is what's taken a good few days of this year so far. And yeah, I'm rather excited to be able to sort of announce it completely next month. Next month there will be announcements about some of it, because we're officially in the right half of the year. Or at least that's my excuse. Mysterious Days, she said she ended up working today and she is also tomorrow. So she said she is so tired. She said, but she had to get in a little me time in finishing the section. She said, plus more of an Eeyore painting. Yeah, that's part of the reason I have left the kids working. I mean, they're watching TV, but they're enjoying working on doing some stuff, and I've come in to do the waffle because this evening I want to sit down and just diamond paint and just completely switch off this evening. So it's, I say, it's still stuffy, so I'm hoping I get through the full hour with the heat in this room. But yeah, it's nice to be able to have the thought of having this evening just to sit and diamond paint my night away, depending on which painting it picks for me, which painting my decision wheel will choose this evening. She said the way she gasped when the giveaway happened, she says, fingers crossed she can get in. She says she is eyeing up getting a tray in each size and the Zesty Wolf / the Advent painting calendar, she said, to have for the future ASAP. The giveaways are fun. There is no giveaway today. Yesterday's is now closed, and we're going to get that one drawn and sent on its way. But there is still quite a few more before the end of the month. I actually had a little bit of a straighten up, mainly of some boxes that are floating around in the corner of our bedroom. I had a bit of a straighten up of some of them, and I did actually think about having a revamp of all my large diamond paintings, and maybe just, you know, keeping more of the ones that I love. I think it's more some of my diamond paintings that are from some of the cheaper companies. I'm not sure whether to keep hold of them or not. I'm still undecided. So I keep mulling that over in my brain, whether to destash my large paintings a bit more, or whether, because I'm currently focusing a bit more on my large paintings, whether I'll actually be able to get through them a little bit quicker than I have been. So, still undecided. All sorts of thoughts go through. So Janita, she said, hi Rebecca. She said she did another section of her blue ocean painting. She said it's still blue and more blue. She says she feels like giving up, but she is persevering. She says, thank you for encouraging me and for keeping me company. Lena said she is in the same situation. She's doing a heaven and earth design and all of her top row is blue. She says it's different shades of blue, but it's all blue. Yeah, that is the only thing. The only thing I can suggest is to get another painting that is completely different colours and mix and match which one you're doing. So you are still making progress on your blue painting, but you do get a break and get to add a little bit of colour while completing another one as you're going along, even if it's just a smaller one. Maybe you do smaller sections on your smaller one just for that little bite-sized bit of variety before you go back to the main one that you want finishing, because blues are so pretty, but if that's all you're doing, it can turn you off them pretty quick. Janita also says she calls it a TV antenna as well. So that's the one with the, have I got it on this one? No, I've not got it on this one, but it's the one with the little triangle with two spikes coming out. Ravy Heights. She said, thanks Rebecca. She says she does enjoy my time with you. She says she is thinking of making every 30-day month a personal whip and waffle so she can have more my time. She says then she hopes to make a dent in her 30 by 40 stash. She works mainly on larger canvases now, but her earlier purchases were all smaller. See, I have a fair amount of 30 by 40s, but I think I have a lot more of the larger ones at the moment, and I do really enjoy throwing in a 30 by 40. Quite often it would be a matter of I'd do a large one and then a 30 by 40 and I'd sort of mix them up. I think the only reason I'm trying to do a few more large ones at the moment is just due to the amount I've got. I'm sure I will get, to the point, at some point I will be like, right, I'm kitting up a 30 by 40 because I need that quicker win. Whether I mix it in with some of my large paintings, I'm not sure. I'm going to go with the flow with my large ones at the moment and keep doing some large ones for a couple of months, but then say I might end up throwing a 30 by 40 in there as well, just to vary things up, because that's what keeps it interesting. Debbie says she's worked on her mystery diamond painting. She said her hummingbird suncatcher and her dragonfly suncatcher today. Quite a variety got through today. That sounds amazing. Getting quite a few different bits done there. The sun catchers sound pretty fun. I've seen some really, really nice sun catchers about on some websites recently. Michelle, she says hello from Kansas again. She says, hi Rebecca. She said she's finally caught up on the June waffle. She said she had to watch 3 days to get caught up, but she says she's not complaining. She said she hopes that we had a great anniversary, and thank you for the whip and waffle. Thank you for being here, and thank you for taking the extra time to get caught up when you've obviously had a bit of a busy time to have missed episodes in between. So it's great that you've been able to find that bit of time to catch up and get whatever hobby it is you're doing done. Crystal said, speaking of what we call some symbols, she says when she first started diamond painting, she didn't watch much diamond painting on YouTube. So she didn't know what some of the symbols actually were. So the pin symbol, she said, that I have on my painting, which is actually this blue one here, was actually sperm in her head. Awesome, I didn't expect that. She said she was in the healthcare field for many years. She said so that's where her brain always goes. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I think if the line wasn't straight, I think my head would have definitely gone there as well. Because the line's straight, it automatically went to a pin. But I love the fact that to some people it's not. Laura, she said, hi Rebecca. She said she hopes that I had some time together with my hubby, and she wishes a happy anniversary. Thank you. She says thanks for today's waffle. She says she has been enjoying them daily and enjoying doing her 2 whips. She will finish both this weekend, and then she is going to be starting 2 new ones. She says 1 square and 1 round. She downloaded a decision wheel. She's got 1 for her rounds and 1 for her squares. And she added a free space too. She says, what a great idea. Yeah, I went on my decision wheel. I actually went on it this morning. And I'd already added the free space, but I went in and added the space for each manufacturer. So I just did Diamond Art Club, Diamond Art Studio, Dreamer Designs, Aura Loa and Carrot Art. I think that's just the ones I did. I didn't do the Kaiser free choice, though maybe I should, because I do have quite a few of those. And then there's a couple of others that I don't have a lot of. But even adding in those free spaces, I'm sure there's a couple that I don't have on my list. I'm guessing I've done a logbook update and forgot to update my wheel at some point. So I do need to go through and sort of fix that and update them before. I might just wait and do it before I next need to pick a large painting and make sure I'm as up to date as I possibly can be. But it was actually quite frightening how thin the slivers have gone because of the amount that I've got on my list. I think that's what's made me think, do I let a few more go? Or maybe I do split them into large square and large round and actually pick according to the drill type. And yeah, so actually go for the drill type. While I have multiple kitted up, maybe I could go for the drill type rather than just whether it's a big painting or not, just so I don't end up with them all being squares or them all being rounds. Still deciding. So she says she enjoys single placing. She says, but she thinks she's going to try multi-placing as she heard my recommendation. She said, if you are new a diamond painter, she said it might be easier to sort of try multi-placing from the beginning. She says, thank you for all that you do. She says, this is a great community and we will see you tomorrow. I actually did some multi-placing in squares as well the other day on my carrot art painting. There is quite a bit that is sort of confetti, but then there are, in each section, there has been quite a few symbols that are blocky. So I've been practicing my square multi-placing as well while doing that, because the drills on the carrot art are actually really snug. They're really nice and snug. So multi-placing has been a lot easier. It can get a bit tricky if it's sort of a line that's surrounded by diamonds. It can be tricky because they are very snug. But it has been a bit of a pleasure to multi-place on that one. So there may be more multi-placing in my future. It may depend on the type of canvas and the type of diamonds. There is a little bit more space around the diamonds on this one, though as the painting cures, sort of the glue can shrink a little bit, which tightens up those gaps. So this might not be the best multi-placing one, but they're newer canvases. The glue doesn't shrink afterwards, just due to the type of glue, I think. So the gaps are the drills are a lot closer together. So maybe I'll get to multi-place on some of their newer canvas types. So we shall see. But yeah, I've been enjoying doing it, but I'm sort of figuring it out on my easel, which is why I'm also not trying it on this. Alice, she says she loves the idea of how I can show you all my mystery painting. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, if anybody missed an earlier one, I'm going to try and take a picture, a regular picture of my mystery painting sort of coming together. And when I do the de-kitting, before I show you all the finished image, I will do a disclaimer so that anybody that's got it can look away and won't get it spoilt for them. But then I'm going to do like a little montage of the pictures showing the diamond painting growing bit by bit as I work my way through it. So you can sort of see it appear if you want to, and you can avoid it if it spoils it for you. Or of course, once you've done your own of the same one, you can then go back and look afterwards at the end of that video if you want to. But yeah, just trying my hardest not to spoil it for anybody. Yvette, she says, happy anniversary to you both. She says, great whip and waffle as always. And thank you for a chance of winning a giveaway. She said, good luck to everyone that enters. Yes, it seems to be the US seems to be winning the most of the giveaways at the moment. There's been one UK and one Ireland, and I think the rest has been US. So we'll have to see if the end of yesterday's giveaway, if it decides somewhere else is going to win or not. But we do have more coming, so there will be plenty more opportunities. So everybody in other countries, make sure you've got your entries in as well. Adriana says, hi Rebecca. She says she's been a long time silent watcher. She says she loves my content. She says while she does her schoolwork or diamond paints to the videos. She says she's been diamond painting for about 4 years now. She's just started to save her extra diamonds. She said, where's a good place to get a DMC colour chart? She says she has diamonds without a DMC code, and she wants to find their codes to add them to her collection. I got a DMC colour chart from AliExpress myself. That seemed to be the cheapest place for me to pick one up from. There are some available on Amazon, DMC themselves do an official one, though that one will have threads on it rather than diamonds on it, and the others are printed. So provided you know that their printer is correct in printing the colours, then you should be good. But I'd just have a look. There are probably some free printable ones as well. It's just how the colour would print on your own printer, and whether it talks to your printer in a way that you realise, because some colours can look completely different on the screen to what they do when they're printed out. Alaya says she's catching up. She's watching day 12 on day 15. Jackie said that the pen I used, one of the pens from Brienne and her boys, she said it's Zesty Wolf colours. Yes, it was Zesty Wolf colours. It was amazing. Jackie also says she loved today's chat. She said she was in stitches, she said, with your antics regarding the launch items. Oh, that was in relation to us having the glue strips on the website, but they weren't due in stock until the Monday. They're a bit of a slower one of our suppliers. They're a little bit slower to ship, which is fine. It's normally something that we make sure we order well enough in advance, but it just missed it by a day before launch. And yeah, so we didn't announce that we'd got the glue strips in. We didn't make a big deal of it, and figured, as soon as they turn up on Monday, of course, we'll get all orders out. And then quite a few people managed to find them and order them. It's like, I think I forgot to announce the pen in last month's launch video. Completely forgot to announce the pen. Yet you guys all found it, loved it, and wiped us out of them. So it seems like, it doesn't matter if I announce or not, you guys will find it. She said she loves this group and all our diamond painting detectives, which they are. The amounts of comments we got when we put the giveaway page up, ready for June Waffle. Yeah, the amounts of questions we got over that as well. It's like, oh my goodness me, it's been up 5 minutes and we're already getting questions. Luckily, Megan was off and she was able to put a social media post up to calm people down that they hadn't missed anything. You've not missed anything. It's not started yet at the time. Because, yeah, eagle-eyed people will figure out anything that gets changed. Cat Lady, she says, hi Rebecca. She says she has had a recount of her sections worked on her Heaven and Earth design canvas. She says she now has 13 sections left. She is 77.42% done. You are doing so much better than me. I am doing so bad on my Heaven and Earth design this June. I'm hoping that things will calm down soon and I get to do more of it. I just need to get things straight. I feel like I need to get things straight because I need that hour. I need that hour that it takes me to do my Heaven and Earth design. But yeah, you're doing absolutely fantastic. Ina, she says, congratulations to your father, because it was his birthday on the 15th. She says, thank you for another great waffle. She said, and like you asked, she said she has already finished her biggest painting, which was 120 by 80. She said because there were a couple of days on which she was able to diamond paint a large section. She said June Waffle helped a lot for her to finish it. She said, so thanks to you, she said, and she's kitted up a small one now. So a little bit of a change from doing a big one to change it to a small one. you'll feel like you speed through that small one after doing a big one. That's for sure. You'll be like, oh, am I done already? Do I need to dekit this already? Wouldn't surprise me if you get that small one and maybe even another one started before the end of the month. Shelley said she had to do 2 sections today as she only had 1 section left on her first row and her brain can't handle that she leaves it for the next day. She said so she had to do it today to calm her mind. I get what you're saying. There are sometimes I peel off such a big section because I'm like, yeah, but I'm so close to the end. I need to finish to the end of the row because it's just a nice stopping place, isn't it? It's just so nice to finish at the end. But yeah, I'm really getting there with my Dreamer designs. It's over halfway done. So it's quite nice, the thought that I'm getting through another large painting. Though my mystery is going a bit slower. It's not picked that one for the last couple of times that I've diamond painted. So I've only still got my first row of the mystery done. We will see what section it picks later on this evening. So I can see that being a longer term running one. And I'll see how many other paintings I can squeeze in on the way. Sparkle It Up says thank you for the waffle. She says she's enjoying them so much. You're welcome. I'm loving doing them. Laurie says, she says that I mentioned having longer days to give us whip and waffles every day. She said, and that reminded her of an article she read just yesterday. She said the US government is finally speaking the truth about UFOs. And one witness said that when he went into a real UFO, that it was humongous inside. Well, I could do with my house being one of them. And he thought he'd only been in about 5 minutes. When he left the UFO, resumed its smaller outside. But the interesting thing was he thought he'd only been in there for a few minutes, when in reality he was inside for over 4 hours. She said, if I were you, she said she would send a message to the stars, towards the stars, asking for one to land in your garden. Would it be one for me to put everybody else into, though? Because if I went in and got lost for 4 hours and only got 5 minutes work done, I don't know if that would be the right way round. That's the only thing. That's how I feel like my day works now. 4 hours have disappeared and I've actually only spent, hours have disappeared and I've done a task that could take 5 minutes. Maybe it's the wrong order for me. Right, that's done. Let's start filling up a few of these trays, I think. We've got quite a bigger bit of blockiness, so I'm just going to top up some of my trays while I'm doing these colours. And make sure that they're nice and full for the next few days. Trying to get all these little odd bits. Is there any in there? Nope. Before I start, I've got a big section of this one here. Grey Legrand, she says she doesn't know what she's going to do in July without a daily dose of me. Well, they may be different videos, but if you are subscribed to both of my channels, according to my schedule at the moment, which I have been able to plan out for the whole of July, of course, many of the videos won't be filmed until that week, but with the mixtures of de-kittings and kitting ups that I need to do, and my whip and waffles that I like to have twice a week, there is only 2 days in July where I don't have a video on one or the other channel. So some of them may be shorter than others, but you can get a little dose. If not, if you've missed any of my earlier June waffles or my earlier advents, then you can always watch those at one a day. Keep you company. Lady Dax said yes, she did get her tray storage. She says the problem is now, she says she has to see if she can make space for another one. I'm trying to find a space for 4. I'm just not coping. She says, and yes, she did stay awake. She says if she'd have gone to bed just after 9, she said she would have been up at the crack of dawn the next day. She says she is UK. She is UK, but there's some days that I'm in bed by like 9:30. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm done with today. I need some sleep. She says she's quite exhausted as she has a lot of appointments for various body parts. She says she thinks that they should just run her through a scanner and have done with it. It would be so nice if they could coordinate some of these appointments, would it not? Sometimes you just feel like, you know, you have to see either different people or for the same thing, or you've got a couple of things that are being looked at or checked out, so you need to see a couple of different people. And the amount of times that you feel like you're running back or two to just exactly the same place, when it's like, can you just not speak to each other and, you know, block a couple of hours out in my diary and just take that between you? It'd be so much easier. Gretchener says, thank you for the idea of highlighting problem symbol labels. She said as one of her other hobbies is collecting pens, she says she has no problem finding plenty of colours to use. Yeah, highlighting on your bottles or, you know, somewhere, depending on how you store them, so whether it's on your bottles or on your trays, highlighting symbols that are very similar can really help you. It's just that little prompt to say, are you sure? That's all it is. It's just something that goes, are you sure it's that one? And it gives you a chance to check and then continue with confidence that you've got the right one, rather than not thinking about it at all and then finding out you got the wrong one, which can be so disappointing. I say, I did it on my mystery one, so I am very much aware of those two symbols that are similar now. It doesn't help that I'm working on it on its side, so I'm already skewing the symbols as it is. I often work on them on the side, so I'm normally quite aware of the facts. And I definitely cross-check some symbols and check I've got them right before continuing. But yeah, I still made a boo-boo on one. She also said, she says, thanks to feeling good today. She said she was able to catch up on my videos. She said her wrist held up through three and a half videos and 3 sections of her diamond painting. She says now if she can just keep up to date, she says she'll be able to enter the giveaways. Oh, well, hopefully you will, or you're not too far behind. We basically need to draw a giveaway so that we can do another one. Like there has to be a little stopgap in between, just because of updating the password and updating the form, and actually make sure that we're contacting the giveaway winners and stuff in between, so that I don't end up getting too confused on what is going where. Trying to make sure I don't send out the wrong thing to the wrong person, because that would be horrific. Yeah, so we do try and make sure that there is a little bit of a gap, but how much of a gap varies. So it's not It's not every other day guaranteed. There are gaps between some of them that are longer than others, just to keep you all on your toes. Amy, she says you're right. UK is 6 weeks and then a half term, and then 6 weeks and then end of term. She said she only knows as her sister had problems with being in school, and the only way for her to cope with it was to count the weeks down. Yeah, believe me, teachers count the weeks down as well when it gets closer to the end of term, and they start counting the days down, especially the Christmas term, because of course the young kids get so excited as it's getting closer and closer to Christmas. And they've got so many things going on at school, you know, with plays and parties and nativities and all the rest of it, that it gets them. They end up getting super, super excited, and the teachers are like, okay, these kids need to go home now. Army Moa and Jean says she was having a sip of tea. She said, when I said that my dad lived in the future, she said, and she laughed so hard, she said she could feel it about to come out of her nose. I don't even know why I've picked up that phrase of saying they live in the future. I think it's when I did the June Waffle post, and I had to make sure that the post on Facebook was going up early enough for those on the other side of the world so that they could complete the section in their daytime. So making sure that it went up early enough for them, but not too early as to confuse the rest of the world. And yeah, it seems to have stuck. She says she's never heard anyone refer to a time zone as the past or the future. She said, and she absolutely loves it. She says she'll be doing that from now on. It just makes it more fun, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, they are in the future and the US is in the past. So that is just the way the cookie crumbles. It's just the way it is. And sometimes, you know, you've just got to embrace that. The kids are currently watching a history show, but somebody with such a dry sense of humour. I can't remember the name of the person because I've just been catching bits of it. But oh my goodness, it's making me laugh. Yeah, she's just... I need to find out her name, because she's making history in effect quite exciting by just asking stupid questions, but with such, you know, such humour in them, and just so dry that it's just a chuckle. Like things like, you know, there was a lot of I'll try and think of one thing that she said just to sort of give you an idea. But she was on about how, you know, there's many kings of England and all the rest of it, but people remember Henry VIII because he's fat and he takes up more of your memory space. And he married lots of people called Catherine, and when he got bored of killing them, he divorced them. He invented divorce and divorced them. Just says things like that, little things like that. But just the way she says it is so, so funny. Alice, she says, hello once again. She says, Rebecca, she says she was waiting to see where you were going with the weather. She says, and how hot it is in the UK. She says because she lives in Australia and she thinks 28 to 29 degrees is very nice. She says anything above 30 degrees is a bit on the hot side. But a 40-degree day, she says, well, they are just horrid. She says, and that's why she is currently on the couch not doing anything. There is actually some comments coming up. Some people have looked it up, but the heat in Australia is a dry heat, and it is actually very different to our heat. So the type of heat that we get is what makes the UK heat at 28 degrees unbearable. It is actually sort of down to the type of heat. It's not just us Brits being mardy. Though we can, on occasion, be mardy. She says with the books that she finds she loves reading more than watching the movies. She says she did read a series 2 times. She reread them before the movie was released. She said, and she thinks that the movie ruined the books because she prefers what's in her brain than what they show on the big screen. Yeah, books are very different in the fact that they can convey what a person is thinking as well, which you just can't get from a film. Not the same anyway. It's in no way the same. If I actually prefer, if I'm going to see both a movie or a film and read the book, I prefer the film first, which gives you the brief overview and stuff. Yes, it can spoil the ending, but then when you read the book, you get a bit more of, you know, the nitty gritty and the thoughts behind it, and it like adds to the story rather than takes away some of the story. Because otherwise you can, you know, watch a film and go, oh, but they've missed this bit and that was a good bit and they've missed this bit, because they are of course edited down. And yeah, if I was going to watch both, I would watch the film or the movie first and then read the book, because then I get a bit more in depth to it. Janita, she says, update to her broken car key. She says the great news is that her friend's hubby ordered her a key fob casing from Amazon. He fitted the inners into the new key fob, and the car key now works. Locks and unlocks, opens the back hatch, etc. She's so happy. Oh, that is perfect. Perfect when something can get fixed without too much trouble. Especially when it ends up being something with your car. You just see dollar or pound signs in front of your eyes, don't you? Thinking it's just going to end up costing an absolute fortune to fix. Jerry, she said, hi Rebecca. She said she's not worked on her battle cross stitch since Sunday. She said she has been listening to the Waffle while she's been organising her logbook. She said she received it the other day. She said storage. She said phew. She says that was a lot to do. Yes, that is definitely a task that is often worth being broken up, because it's nice to do, but it is very repetitive. She says her stash several times, and the newest logbook and extra pages she said she received today. She's glad that she had actually ordered a second logbook and included extra stash pages. She said because she ended up using all of the stash pages in her first logbook. She said her stash is up to 19, including her whip, with 6 more, she says, in the shipment process. She actually ordered 4 more today, as an ad came up on Facebook, and she couldn't resist the price for some Diamond Art Studio paintings. She said, don't tell hubby. She said, as always, she Sorry, she said, as always, she enjoyed the waffle and she looks forward to seeing me tomorrow for another waffle. Thank you. It is so nice to get organised though, but I do agree the spare storage setup is nice done over time in either in little blocks or do it as you're dekitting. It can be done quicker than that, and I have done mine in sort of sessions and just got focused on it for a few nights to get it done, you know, and get that task tick completed. But if that's not the way your brain works, then splitting it up can make it still an enjoyable process, but not quite as overwhelming. Miss Jo Violet says, hi Rebecca. She says, thanks for keeping me company while she is sick with the flu. Oh dear. She says the doctor booked her off for a week. She says, although she feels rubbish, she said she always tries to focus on the positive, and that is that she has lots of time to diamond paint. She says, so she sleeps and then she diamond paints, and then she sleeps and then she diamond paints. Well, I hope you start to feel better, at least, you know, the front half of your week off, so that you can get to enjoy a couple of days where you don't feel rotten, but you're still off. She says she thinks she will finish the snap before the end of the weekend, but she did say she was also naughty. Oh, what did you do? She says she totally blames her fever. She said she accidentally bought the new Diamond Art Club mystery painting, the mystery animal painting. She says she totally blames her fever, though she is excited for it to arrive. Love it. Use the fever as an excuse. I don't blame you at all. Helen says she is catching up. She said she's watched 3.5 videos and it is only 11. She says, wow, what time did you get up and start getting going? She says by the time she has finished one video, she says another would be uploaded. She said so she binged whilst finishing these Father's Day cards. She says thank you. Well, I'm glad that I was able to keep you company and help you to get all caught up, or nearly all caught up. Right, I've got one up there. I know I've already missed one over here that's a D, but I'm ignoring it in case I've ended up missing more. So let's top up this one. I'm on a top up for most of them while I'm going. Tiffany, she says if they place pre-orders on an advent and at a later date before advent goes out, she says, are we able to put in the notes for them to be shipped together? Short of that is no. Part of the reason why will become clear when we do the announcements for advent, but one thing we won't be able to do over our advent period is combine orders. We do it for each launch month, and it actually takes a couple of hours to get those orders sort of pulled out and sorted, and then the admin done in the background to make sure that refunds are done for any overpayments of postage or anything like that. So it is something that we do for each launch, but say it's a lot of admin behind it, especially for some, like we actually aren't able to process the refunds until we've been invoiced by our shipping provider, which means it can take longer. So over the advent period, when we are really so busy with orders and getting them out, we won't be doing any combining of orders. but it will be made clear from when that is. But yeah, it's the only way that we can basically keep up with all the orders and get things shipped out as quick as possible, is to not have to keep, you know, recording anything with that we combine. But as I say, there is another reason that we're not doing it, and that will become clear when we announce the Advent completely. And I'm sure it will make it a lot clearer for everybody involved as to why. Right, 340. That one definitely needs topping up. I've got loads in my extra here. Girl Diamonds says hi from South Africa. No, SA Australia, so Southern Australia. Nearly got that one wrong, sorry. She said she just wanted to say happy anniversary and thank you for a great whip and waffle. She said she loves the company while she diamond paints in the evening. She says when the kids are asleep or early in the morning before they get up. She says hope the weather is behaving for you and look forward to tomorrow's video. It's definitely getting more how I like it, that's for sure. Right, 3752. I've actually not got that many in there. Ina, she says, just admit it, Rebecca. She said you read my comments about her cat on her diamond painting for the second time because you liked it so much. So occasionally I do forget to heart a comment at the end of a video, like the last comment that I read. And then when I go to do the next video, I'm like, have I read this? Have I not? More often than not, I capture whether I have or not, but every now and then I don't. So anyway, the cat comment got an airing twice, which is all good. I did think it was funny. Mysterious Days, she says good morning. She said she had to watch half and then go to sleep and then finish the video the next morning. She said since she'd been up from 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. her time. Oh my goodness me. I don't think I could cope with that sort of time frame anymore. I used to be able to, but not anymore. She says it was exhausting, she said, especially running around after children. But it was great working. She said as soon as she got home at 5 p.m, she had dinner and then she kitted up another diamond painting for the elderly lady who lives with her. She says she's hooked. Good. She says, and she is on her 4th diamond painting. Let's add some in there. She said, on her 4th diamond painting, she said she's improved so much. She also said that kitting up and kitting down is her favourite video of mine too. Thank you. She said, have you ever thought about selling a tray bundle? So she said 1 AMZ tray, 1 zesty tray and 1 trashy. She says either it can be a mystery bundle or a colour set by theme. That is something that we may be thinking of adding. At the moment we do it on the limited editions. We sort of do a tray bundle, but we may do a bundle for like the normal trays as well. A lot of it is getting round to doing the pictures and stuff as well, because there's a lot of messing about to set up to take pictures. It actually takes quite a bit of time to get them all set up, and really quite often it is that stops us from adding things as soon as we think of them. We try to make it, you know, what people want and relevant, you know, so people don't have to click too many times to add things to basket, which is why we've done the paint gem bundles, just to stop people having to go in and out of different items to get all the things they want. So yeah, there are many different bundles that we want to do. We're just trying to get round to them as and when we can, and as and when I can get the pictures done for them. Because sometimes I feel as though I spend my life taking pictures of products and then retaking pictures of products. But yeah, it is something we are thinking of doing, and we will try and get a few more bundle things in there to make things easier for people, but not too many, you know, that you can't scroll the shop for seeing all the bundles. So yes, is the short answer to that. Eventually, yes. But there is section 15 finished. I feel like that went rather quick. I'm trying to do the math, so whether this is going to be an under an hour video again, because yesterday surprised me that it ended up being under an hour, and I'm wondering if this one will too. Maybe I'm getting quicker with that white, or maybe it's because it's cooled down just a little bit. Who knows? But that is another section done for today. How many have we got left? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I should have been able to work that out. I should have just been able to do the math on that one for the fact that it's the 21st. Anyway, there are 9 days left of completing a painting, or at least for me, completing a painting in the month of June. Many of you have done so many paintings so far and are really racking the numbers up. It's good to see everybody sort of accomplishing little mini goals for themselves and getting things ticked off and done. But yeah, thank you all for joining me for today's, and I will speak to you all again tomorrow.